Breaking news: the economy is falling apart. Again, stocks are signaling, prices are skyrocketing. Your neighbor just bought 50 pounds of rice like it's the end of the world. And you're probably wondering, what on earth is happening? And how do I survive this madness? Welcome to the ultimate guide to understanding and surviving a recession. By the end of this video, you'll not only know what a recession is, but also how to spot one coming, how to stay afloat during one, and maybe even, dare I say, come out richer on the other side. Let's dive in. But buckle up, because the economy is about to get bumpy. What is a recession, really? First things first, what's a recession? Textbook answer: 2 consecutive quarters of shrinking GDP. But unless you're an economist who collects graphs for fun, that definition is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Real life answer? It's when you feel broke, your boss feels broke, and even the government pretends they're broke. Though somehow they keep printing money like Monopoly. A recession is when people stop spending, businesses stop hiring, and the entire economy feels like it hit the brakes on the highway. It's the moment you notice your grocery bill is higher, your paycheck feels smaller, and your boss suddenly starts using the phrase, "We need to tighten our belts." Recessions are basically economic hangovers after the big party. Everyone borrowed, spent, and invested like rock stars. And now it's time to pay the tab. And the worst part? Recessions don't discriminate. They hit Wall Street, Main Street, your street. They don't care if you're a billionaire hedge fund manager or someone working a 9-to-5. Okay, fine. They hit the 9-to-5 worker harder because billionaires usually get bailouts. But here's the catch. Recessions are not new. They're as old as capitalism itself. They come in cycles. Expansion, boom, bust, repeat. It's like the economy's heartbeat. Without it, the system wouldn't reset. So instead of asking, will there be a recession? The better question is, when's the next one? And am I ready? The bubble before the crash. Let's be honest, every recession has a party before the hangover. And that party, it's called a bubble. Recessions don't just happen out of nowhere. They're usually born from a bubble. A bubble happens when everyone collectively decides this thing is worth way more than it actually is. Prices shoot to the moon, fueled by hype, greed, and the fear of missing out. Remember the tulip mania in the 1600s? People in the Netherlands were literally trading their homes for a single tulip bulb. Yes, a flower. And when reality finally kicked in, boom, the entire market collapsed, leaving people with worthless tulips and crushed dreams. Fast forward, dot-com bubble, early 2000s. Everyone thought slapping a .com at the end of a company name made it a billion-dollar business. Investors threw cash at websites that barely worked. Pets.com, Webvan, companies that promised the world and delivered, well, bankruptcy. By 2002, $5 trillion of investor wealth had evaporated. Then came the housing bubble of 2008. Banks handed out mortgages like candy. To anyone with a pulse. Even to people with no job, no income, and sometimes no idea what a mortgage even was. Real estate prices soared until, surprise, people couldn't pay. That bubble popped so hard it almost took the entire global economy with it. And let's not forget the more recent crypto/NFT bubble. Someone paid $2.9 million for Jack Dorsey's first tweet. Later, the resale bid? Just $280. That's not investing. Well, congratulations, you helped fund the next bubble. Here's the thing about bubbles. You never really know you're in one until it pops. Because while it's inflating, everyone feels rich, everyone feels smart, and everyone swears, this time it's different. Spoiler alert, it's never different. It always ends the same way. Tears, panic, and lots of people asking, how did we not see this coming? Ah, the Federal Reserve. The most powerful player in the US economy. They're basically the wizard behind the curtain of Oz. Except the curtain is covered in trillion-dollar bills. The Fed's job? To keep the economy stable. America's financial firefighter, except sometimes they also light the matches. Here's how it works. When the economy's too hot, prices rising, too much money flying around, the Fed raises interest rates. That makes borrowing money more expensive, which slows down spending. When the economy crashes, the Fed slashes rates to make money cheap again. hoping people borrow and spend their way back to normal. Sounds simple, right? Well, not exactly. Take 2008. The housing bubble bursts, banks collapse, the economy's in free fall. What does the Fed do? Slashes rates to near zero and bails out banks. Did it save the system? Yes. Did it also reward the very institutions that caused the mess? Also, yes. Fast forward to 2020. COVID shuts down the world. The Fed floods the economy with money. Stimulus checks for us all. Stocks bounce back. People buy Pelotons and Dogecoin goes to the moon. But here's the side effect. Too much money chasing too few goods equals inflation. And now, here we are in a cycle of rate hikes, trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube. The Fed is like that friend who lends you cash every time you're broke, but also keeps encouraging your bad habits. Without them, the system collapses. With them, the system sometimes collapses anyway, just a little slower. Bottom line, when the Fed acts, pay attention. They're not just playing with numbers, they're playing with your mortgage, your credit card rates, and even the price of your morning coffee. Recession indicators. So how do you know if a recession is coming? Spoiler alert, it's not when the news finally tells you. It's usually too late by then. Recessions don't arrive with a calendar invite. They creep in with little red flags, and most people are too busy binge-watching Netflix to notice. Here are the big warning signs. Inverted yield curve. Sounds fancy, right? But here's the translation. When short-term interest rates are higher than long-term ones, the bond market is basically screaming, trouble ahead. Every single US recession in the last 50 years has been preceded by this creepy financial omen. If the bond market were a person, this is the moment it starts texting you at 3 a.m. You up? Rising unemployment. It starts slow. Companies announce a few layoffs. No big deal. Then suddenly your cousin, your neighbor, and half of LinkedIn are suddenly open to work. When too many people stop working, spending dries up and businesses spiral. It's like a chain reaction. Fewer jobs, less money spent. Fewer jobs. Skyrocketing debt defaults. This one is sneaky. When people start missing car payments, maxing out credit cards, and defaulting on loans, it's a giant red flag. In 2008, mortgage defaults were the first domino. And when dominoes fall in finance, they don't fall quietly. They take down entire banks. Consumer confidence tanking. Economists love surveys. One of their favorites is asking people, hey, do you feel good about spending money? When the majority says, nope, I'm scared. Guess what? Spending drops. Businesses panic, and recession accelerates. In 2020, confidence plummeted so fast you couldn't even find toilet paper. So the signs are there, always. The trick is, do you notice them? Or do you only realize when CNN starts shouting about the worst downturn in history? What to do? When you think a recession is coming now, here's where it gets real. If you smell recession in the air, like inflation-flavored doom, what should you do? Stack cash. In good times, everyone preaches, cash is trash. In bad times, cash is king. Having liquidity gives you breathing room when things go south. Warren Buffett once said, only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. Translation, when recession hits, the people without cash are the first to drown. Cut useless expenses. This is not the time to keep 6 subscription boxes, 3 unused gym memberships. If you're still paying $14.99 for 3 streaming platforms you don't use, congratulations, you're funding Netflix's stock buybacks. Every dollar saved is a shield. And no, you don't need a $7 latte every day. Starbucks won't save you in a recession. But savings will. Build skills and diversify income. Jobs get shaky. Industries get hit differently. During the 2008 crash, construction collapsed while tech adapted faster. If you have multiple skills or income streams, freelancing, side hustles, online businesses, you're not just relying on one paycheck. That's survival. Your job is not guaranteed, but your ability to adapt is. Don't panic sell. This is the most common rookie mistake. The market dips, people freak out, sell everything at a loss, then watch prices bounce back. If history teaches us anything, it's that panic selling turns temporary pain into permanent losses. Imagine selling Apple stock in 2009 because you were scared. Ouch. The stock market goes down, then it goes up. The only ones who lose big are those who sell low and buy high. Yes, I'm looking at you, crypto bros. Basically, in the pre-recession stage, your job is to get lean, get liquid, and get smarter. Think of it as a recession boot camp. What to do during a recession. Okay, the storm hits. The headlines scream, worst economy in decades. Markets are red, and your neighbor is hoarding canned beans. What now? Double down on value. Forget the shiny toys. It's time to prioritize what keeps you alive and moving. Food, rent, healthcare. The goal isn't to flex, it's to survive. If you can cut the fluff without sacrificing essentials, you'll stretch every dollar. Hunt for opportunities. Here's the dirty little secret. Recessions are when the rich get richer. Why? Because assets go on sale. Stocks, real estate, even businesses. During the 2008 crash, people who bought foreclosed homes for dirt cheap saw massive gains years later. In 2020, anyone buying the dip in the stock market made a killing within months. Great companies go on sale during recessions. If you've got cash, it's like Black Friday for investors. So if you have cash, think like an investor, not a victim. Stay employed or get creative. Recessions test job security. If you can keep your job, do it. But also, don't ignore the power of creating something new. Airbnb launched during the 2008 crisis because people needed cheap lodging. Uber came out of the same era because people needed extra income. Crisis doesn't just kill industries, it births new ones. Invest in yourself. The best asset isn't your house, stocks, or even gold. It's you. Learn new skills, build networks, upgrade your education. When the economy recovers, and it always does, you'll be ahead of the curve. Think of it like planting seeds during winter. So you're ready for the harvest when spring returns. Protect your mental game. Recessions are stressful. Fear spreads faster than the virus of 2020. Staying calm, focused, and strategic is half the battle. The people who thrive aren't the ones who panic. They're the ones who keep their heads while others lose theirs. In short, recessions are like economic wildfires. They burn, they destroy, but they also clear space for new growth. If you keep your cool, you can come out stronger than before. Historical lessons. Still not convinced? Let's talk receipts. History is full of examples showing that recessions are brutal. Yes, but also opportunities. The Great Depression of the 1930s crushed millions, but it also birthed fortunes for those who bought real estate and stocks at rock-bottom prices. In 2008, while most people panicked, some investors scooped up foreclosed homes for pennies. A decade later, they were sitting on fortunes. During the 2020 crash, stocks dropped 30% in a month. If you bought into the chaos, you doubled your money within a year when markets rebounded. It's always the same pattern. Panic for the majority, profit for the prepared. The difference isn't timing, it's mindset. So here's the truth. Recessions are scary, yes. They hit hard. They test your patience, your finances, and sometimes even your sanity. But they're also natural. They reset the system, clear out the excess, and open doors for those ready to step through. You can choose to panic, complain, and hoard toilet paper. Or you can prepare, adapt, and build wealth while everyone else is freaking out. Because remember, in every economic storm, there are two types of people: the ones who drown and the ones who learn how to surf. So the question is, when the next wave hits, are you paddling out or paddling home? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to share it with a friend and don't forget to subscribe. Also, you'll need to click on the next video showing on your screen right after this. It broke down the most important financial IQs that can make you rich in 180 days. I'll see you guys in that video. Thanks for watching.